Hello and welcome back to the Hoof Football Podcast, Season 2, Episode number 14. It's an even more depleted cast this week. It's just me, myself, Lewis Eady, and Charlie Oxtoby. How are we doing, lads? Lewis?
Yeah, not too bad.
Any more? Or are you just...
No, sorry. Yeah, it's been all right. I mean, I'm trying to think what I've done this week. Not much, to be fair. What was the weekend? No, I didn't really watch much football because from what I watched of Soccer Saturday, the Chelsea Bournemouth game was the most boring thing known to man, and that nothing happened. So yeah, nothing on the Chelsea end. I think the Middlesbrough Hull aftermath is probably more interesting with you two.
I mean, I had a good time, Charlie. Thoughts?
No, I did not have a good time. That was probably the worst I think we've played this season. It was just absolute dross. I don't even want to just look back at that game. I genuinely don't think there's been a much worse 45 minutes I've seen us play this season. That was just dreadful.
Yeah, for
Wait,
anyone who
Charlie,
hasn't seen.
was it not cooking?
All work cooking, I can
Oh,
tell you
well,
that for free.
Hull were not cooking. No, for anyone who hasn't seen, we were Middlesbrough 4-0 up against Hull at half-time. You won the second half, 1-0. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's the
I
one thing
think
I can
I
take
think because we
away.
just stopped playing, to be honest. Also, the penalty wasn't a pen. Um,
I don't know.
if
Keeper
you've seen it
caught
back, he doesn't touch it.
with his knee though.
I don't think he does.
I think he
Oh,
does.
I mean, it doesn't matter. We won 4-1, so he gives a
No,
touch.
it doesn't matter to be honest.
Um, I can see why it's been given. I just don't actually think he touches him. It's not a horrendous decision from the ref. Anyway, speaking of horrendous decisions, we're not mainly talking about Mo Salah today, but he has been making some poor choices in the media. I just wanted to, before we go on to the main topic, which is Leeds United and their revival, just to briefly touch on that. Charlie, I don't know what your thoughts are on how this is going down. I personally think it's a little bit wild what he's saying, but
Yeah, it kind of. I mean, I wasn't really expecting to just kind of go like at it with the manager. I mean, really, he's not been informed this season, so I don't think all of the blame should be on Arne Slot, whether it's affecting his performance or just Liverpool's in general. It was a very bold statement he made, and I think to kind of complain about the manager and almost like say it's like not I wouldn't say like a betrayal, but kind of he's been benched a couple of games because he wants to try something different with Liverpool since it's clearly not working. But yet he's been out of form, so I don't think he can just fully go at the manager for well for being benched and then saying, "Oh, you know that I don't want to be at this club anymore if it's going to be like this." I think it's
yeah, I
ridiculous.
mean, I am surprised. I'm not surprised he was benched. I'm surprised he was benched for three straight games when they didn't even win them. Um, so I can kind of see why he's annoyed, but you can't come out and say what he said in the media and expect it just to be fine. He'll be back in the starting 11. He's obviously out of the
yeah.
inter squad now. Lewis, do you think this is going to resolve, or where do you think it goes from here?
I think it's a mixture of two things. I think one is that in the first place, normally there's a lot of kind of exaggeration within the media in terms of, let's be real, he's been left out of three games. He is in the history of Liverpool one of their greatest ever players, and yet it's going to be a big deal when he's a superstar in that team. But a manager who's under kind of threat and who's under pressure to make some tactical adjustments and to bench him for a couple of games doesn't warrant the reaction that he has come out and said after the Leeds game. Because in a way, he's kind of jeopardising his legacy at Liverpool in the sense that is it going to go sour now? Is what he's left at? That's the point we're at. You know, he's been left out of the Inter squad. People are now suggesting, is he going to be playing for Liverpool again in terms of how bad the situation's going to get? Obviously, we all hope that he does, and we think that everyone wants it to turn around. But he's made it almost like he's bigger than the club and it's about him. And that's, I think, a poor decision at this moment in time when Liverpool need kind of to unite and get kind of rally around the manager. But maybe that shows that he's not really backing the manager and that there's a disagreement there. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, it would be quite a sad end for an undoubted Liverpool and Premier League legend. But who knows? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. You mentioned the Leeds game there, which is the perfect segue into the main topic, which is, of course, Leeds United and their kind of mini revival at the minute. 'Cause I don't think I'm the only one who thought they were dead and buried, really, a few weeks ago. And they've shown some real signs of life. So I'll run through the latest games. Obviously, there was the 3-3 against Liverpool where they're 2-0 down, they bring it back. Charlie shaking his head there, not happy to see it. There was obviously the 3-1 against Chelsea, which I'm sure Lewis will shake his head at. Um, narrow loss to City, where they were really good. Obviously, lost narrowly to Villa. Before that, they were losing every week. But something's changed for them. Calvert-Lewin's got the goals, and I don't really understand how that's happened. Lucas Metchers also scoring quite a few. They've just really kind of found something. There's been a little tactical tweak to a three at the back, and it's starting to fire for them. So, yeah, Lewis, we'll go to you first. What do you think's happening here? What's the reason for this, and do you think it'll continue?
Well, it's interesting you just said there about slight tactical tweak because one of the main things that Daniel Farke's come under fire for, especially with kind of the Leeds fans, is the fact that he's very rigid and stubborn with his tactics, and that in games, some of the more winnable games on paper, in terms of maybe the Burnley game that I think they lost, and other games across this season so far, he's been heavily criticised and under pressure for the fact that he's been not changing tactics and kind of freely doing a different system or something to show any sign of change. But ever since kind of this past week where they've got three very good results, obviously the City game they lost, but they showed a fight back. They showed something that was of character. I think he's shown that he can show kind of tactical nous to try and create change, and it's clearly working for them. They found a good system that's working over this last week. I think it's playing to the strengths better of the likes of Anton Stack in midfield, who's had generally a good season, and who's maybe gone under the radar a little bit. And I think that it seems like this tactic of recent is obviously working in terms of they've scored what they've scored seven, is it 7 goals? How many goals have they scored? No, sorry,
Uh,
six, seven,
in the
eight. They've
last
scored eight.
what in the last two, or are you talking about the last three?
In the last three with City as well, they've
Yeah,
scored
8 goals
eight.
in the
So
last three.
yeah, they've scored 8 goals. I think overall this season they've got 19, which is still kind of down there as one of the lowest. But it's showing a change and a shift in this last week in terms of momentum that's now being built, and it's a good foundation. I think that from what I've just read before we did this podcast, Farkas, as we have widely known, has been under a lot of pressure no matter what, even going into the season. And there was talk among some Leeds chaps that this week was actually a kind of die or ride kind of situation for Farker, and he's managed to prove it and turn it around. Getting some big results against some of the biggest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Leeds were going to be probably bottom of the league. When to be fair, I said Sunderland because I can't think of anything else, and I can't just picture them doing what they're doing right now. So I'm just ignoring it. I thought Leeds were going to be right down there. Obviously, they're still down there. But the fact going into the season when you've got promoted and you think you might sack your manager, that doesn't bode well for me. He's doing a decent job, to be fair to him. I do think looking ahead, will they be able to kind of keep this kind of run of momentum up? Because I actually think the next few games they've got are quite tricky. On paper, it's Brentford away, which is quite nice. Palace at home's obviously a bit of a tough game. Sunderland away is a bit of a tough game. Then you go back to Anfield now. Then it's United at home. So it's not an easy run of games, but I wouldn't be surprised if they struggle more against Brentford than they did against like a Chelsea or a Liverpool, where they're expected to be kind of more on an even kilter. Um, Also, I think if they're trying to lump it long to Calvert-Lewin, Nathan Collins is going to eat that up. So they're going to have to find something different. I know they did do it a little bit at the back end of the Liverpool game when Gnonto came on. They were playing some pretty neat stuff, some nippy stuff in there, and Canate took him out. So yeah, Charlie, do you reckon this is going to kind of keep going the next few games, or do you see it kind of petering out?
I think, oh God, as much as I hate to say it, I think for the next couple of games, I think they will kind of maintain like a decent amount of form. Obviously, what I will say to kind of argue with the games that they've kind of got points out of against Liverpool and Chelsea is that Chelsea have kind of been on a bit of a, well, recently it's kind of been a bit edgy. They're kind of not really finding any results. Liverpool season's just going downhill. But well, again, as much as I hate to say it, you've kind of got to give them credit for scoring 3 goals against them to say that they haven't been a high scoring team this season. But looking at them future games, I think even if they just get a point out of them, I think like if you get a point away from Brentford, I think that's great. I think if you can somehow get 3 points against an informed Crystal Palace, you're doing really well. But for me, when it does come to like, even if they do well in the next few fixtures, they're gonna have to. I feel like they're gonna have to spend some money on this winter transfer window. I just don't like, even though Calvert-Lewin is starting to score goals, and Mecca hasn't really scored recently. I don't think. I think it's been more Tanaka that's
Scored
scored
against City.
recently. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm too busy of a hater and I just don't pay attention. But um, I think they need to probably look at, I think, the attacking side, whether it is another striker or maybe a more impactful winger, and then maybe a defender. I don't know because they haven't really like defensively they haven't looked great at times, but sometimes they've kind of managed to keep themselves like just conceding one goal a game. I really I'm hoping that with one of the players that we have, which are on loan with us at Hull, I hope Joe Gelhardt does not get recalled. I
Mm.
swear to God, if he gets recalled and does play either well for Leeds or doesn't get any game time, I'm going to be absolutely fuming. But like I said, I think transfer window is where they're going to have to try and get some players so they're at least contesting with positions. So that way, if someone doesn't perform well one week, another player gets a chance this week. But yeah, I think just with the recent fixtures they've got coming up, they should be able to get something. I feel with how the form's kind of taken a little bit of a rise, but I think throughout the future of the rest of this season, I'm still not convinced.
I mean, they are
I
riding a bit
think
of a.
something that's. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying
I
they
was
are
going to
riding a
say
bit of a.
I think something that's interesting the fact that their home form is extremely good. I think they've only lost 3 games in the last 15 months at home, which is, I didn't realize that is crazy. Something that's more concerning is their away form. I mean, you look at the bad run that they had in between the win against West Ham at home. They lost to Brighton on the road, they lost to Forest on the road, and then obviously the City one was a little bit more expected. But I think what's going to be key is we all know Ellen Road is a horrible place to go. They need to galvanise around that and use that to their strengths and their advantage. And I think that the two that have just gone, Liverpool and Chelsea, have shown that when they've got the fans behind them, when they get a goal back, they can be buoyant and they can get a reaction and response. And I think that's going to be key going forward into obviously the latter part of the season. I think it's quite interesting that this Brentford game, there's a lot of weight on it in the sense that Brentford, if they go and lose this, Brentford have then lost. I think they've only got one win, sorry, and then in 5 games. So that starts to look a bit shaky for Brentford, and you start to worry. Brentford are only, I think, 6 points above the drop. Leeds have closed that gap with Brentford, so it's starting to get like there's a lot on that game in terms of the momentum changing and swinging if Brentford lose it.
Well, that is the thing. It's obviously Leeds are performing well. It's who gets dragged back in. Because I think we can agree Wolves are very much down. That United game last night was absolutely pitiful, and we'll touch on that a little bit more later. Burnley, I would say, are down as well. I mean, Scott Parker coming out in a press conference and saying that they've got to fight, but it probably won't be enough. You can't be saying that in December, Scott. It's like, fucking hell. Um, West Ham look bad, but there is still a lot of quality on that side. Forest, I think, will be fine. Obviously, they just lost 3-0, but I still think Dyche will keep them up. So I think Fulham are too far ahead. I think they've got enough in the squad there. I think Brentford will be fine. I think really it is between West Ham and Leeds for me. One of those two, I think, are going to join Burnley and Wolves. I just don't know which one. But if Leeds can keep this run of form going for the next few games, then they give themselves a chance. They're 2 points ahead of West Ham as it stands. Um, I think they could do it. They could do it. Charlie, do you think anyone else could be in there, or do you think it is? Do you kind of agree with me that it's Leeds and West Ham to make up that last spot?
Yeah, I almost kind of thought to myself maybe Forest, but I feel that what Sean Dyche has already done since he's come in at Forest, I think has been great, and it does seem rather promising that they're going to go further away from the relegation zone. I think really, I mean, yeah, like you said, Burnley don't stand a chance. Obviously, Wolves are just they're down already. Let's be real. I think it really is a fight between Leeds and West Ham, unless maybe, which I don't think's realistic, but unless Fulham and Brentford maybe their form continues to just constantly downgrade to the
Mm.
point where they are kind of in a position where they've got to start worrying about staying in the Prem. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it is going to be Leeds, West Ham, and the squad that West Ham have, you wouldn't expect them to be in the relegation zone, but I don't know who really is at fault for West Ham, whether it is like Nuno Espirito Santo himself, or if it is some of the players in the squad. I don't know. It's a really funny one, but I'm really hoping West Ham do stay up. That way, Leeds do go down. But
Yeah,
I don't think there'll be many teams in this relegation battle this year.
I don't think that West Ham squad's too good to go down, Charlie.
No,
I wouldn't say it is. But
Really?
I don't think so. Um, the keepers don't convince me at all. Um, you're
defense
relying
is
on.
woeful.
I mean, Juff was good at the start of the season. He's got a bit about him, but I don't know. Wan-Bissaka and Cole Walker-Peters they're Premier League players, but they're not top end Premier League players. That midfield is fucking dire. Um, Magassa's looked pretty good to
Has
be
been
fair. Fernando's been
recently.
pretty good, but then you play in one of Souček, Irving. Paqueta can't, stay on the pitch without calling someone a knobhead. And Callum Wilson and Jared Bowen are trying to score the goals, and that doesn't massively convince me either. I think they will stay up. I think they'll have enough to get over the line from Leeds, but I think to say their squad is too good to go down, I wouldn't say I agree with.
I think it is. I think it's. I see it as Premier League worthy. I would have never have. Yeah, right. I would have never seen him be like, oh, top 10 side or like just easily mid-table. But I would think that there wouldn't be, with that squad they have, I wouldn't think they'd be in a relegation battle compared to Leeds' squad, who, okay, Leeds do have, again, Calvert-Lewin, Joe Rodon, um, trying to think of other players, Jack Harrison, Sean Longstaff, like those players I think are Premier League worthy. But I look at the rest of this team and I think, well, they perform much more better in the Championship because I feel like that's just where they belong.
I mean, I think there's several Leeds players who get in the West Ham starting 11. I don't know if I can say the same the other way around. Jared Bowen gets in, but if you're looking at the
I'm going to
starting 11,
disagree with
Anton
that.
Stack, Sean Longstaff, Joe Roda, I would say walks. Lucas Perry, they walk straight into the West Ham starting 11. I'd say.
Yeah, I think that Leeds have clearly got a much better base midfield. If you look at the
Yeah.
foundation of Leeds midfield, and you've got Longstaff, Tanaka, and Stack, I think that is much better in terms of at least being balanced compared to the West. I mean, West Ham a couple of weeks, or was it maybe 2 games ago, were playing like Souček on right wing.
Yeah, it was against
So I
United.
think yes, they've got injuries to kind of maybe give that a reason, but I think what's interesting with the two clubs that we're mentioning is that the last game of the season for Leeds United is West Ham, and it's West Ham away. And then Burnley is right at the end of the season, the 2nd of May for Leeds as well. So you've got some, and Wolves as well is the 18th of April. So that really, that back end of the Prem season with kind of all leading up to West Ham Leeds, if those two are the clubs that we're saying are going to maybe fight each other, it's going to be a taster on that last game of the season.
Mm. No, that could be quite something. I think we'll wrap this section up with just a little kind of where do we actually think Leeds finish. Lewis, I will go to you first. Where do you think Leeds are going to finish this season, and why?
Yeah, I'm torn. Yeah, I'm torn in terms of what we've just mentioned, and it's one of them where it's very fine margins. I'm going to maybe give a different perspective and say that they're going to just narrowly by the scrape of their teeth stay up.
Mm.
I'm going to say that it's what's 17th. I think they might just stay up. I think that there's something that I like about this Leeds team in terms of maybe more tightly knit than West Ham in that respect, and more of kind of a unity amongst the club. I think that Farker, I want to believe in, can do something. So that's what I'm going to say.
Charlie?
I think they're going down. I think it will be like a decent scrap towards the end of the season. I feel with West Ham, but I still, to me, I still think West Ham can rise out of that relegation zone. I'm gonna say that maybe towards maybe like last 5 games of the season, that's where like the points gap will start to kind of increase, and I think that's where West Ham will um, stay safe in the Prem, and that's when I think Leeds will go down.
Mm. There is that a lot more Premier League experience in the West Ham squad, so I do see that angle. Um, yeah, I think it's going to be really tight between those two. I think one of them 17, one of them 18. That's how I see it at the end of the season. Couple of points in it. I'm gonna regrettably go Leeds. Um, just because I think, like Lewis says, there's that unity there. West Ham feel like they're sleepwalking towards a relegation and have been for years, and they feel so disjointed. It's a bit of a mess there. And Nuno Espirito Santos hasn't really had the kind of effect that I thought he would by now. I mean, he did start by picking a right back at left back and a centre back at right back, pretty much, and he's playing Souček at right wing. I don't know what he's doing. It's like he wants to get sacked. He wants a payout. I think Leeds just about do it by like
You
two
could maybe
points.
you could maybe argue, I suppose, that West Ham could be backed with kind of the January window in terms of Nuno's not got his own team there. You obviously said that he's making a lot of kind of strange tactical decisions, but maybe it's all comes down to a lot of things like January and things as well. So yeah,
Yeah, January would be
you
massive,
mentioned that.
but also Leeds are a big club. They've got a lot of money. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
I think it'll be close, but I'm going to say Leeds just about stay up. Well, that's that. That's a quick kind of tete-a-tete on the Leeds kind of mini revival. We'll be back shortly for a quiz. Welcome back to Hoof. It's time for the quiz as per, and it's a head-to-head this week of Charlie and Lewis. We got some great battles over the last few weeks for you two, so let's try and keep this going. And in the spirit of great battles, we're talking about Man City versus Real Madrid this week for the lineup, because they face each other tomorrow night when we're recording this. Yesterday, if you listen to this on repeat, and they're looking to climb into the top eight of the Champions League phase of Man City and overtake their opponents actually with a win. Now. These two have played out some incredible games over the years, but today I want you to think back to the first, which was in September 2012, where Los Blancos came out 3-2 victors at the Bernabeu. I want you to tell me the Man City lineup from that day. So we're looking back to September 2012 for the Man City lineup.
Can we get the formation, please?
And you can, it's a 4-3-3.
4-3-3.
It's a 4-3-3.
Okay, right. Um,
I'll tell you, the Real Madrid team is quite something to behold. It's one hell of a team.
uh,
Michael Essien and not Rami Khedira, Sami Khedira. I mixed him in the cover up there. Current Real Madrid youth team manager Alvaro Arbeloa started at right back as well. What team? So this is the Mancini era for Man City. We're going back to that era.
I'm a bit worried there's like players that I would think would have started, but were on the bench or perhaps were injured.
mm,
He definitely played. I definitely remember him.
some interesting names on the bench as well for City, which I'll run through once you've done this. Once we've got the lineups out there. Gonzalo Higuain started for Real Madrid as well. He came off.
Um,
Benzema scored. Ronaldo scored again for them. Marcelo got the third for Real Madrid. I obviously won't tell you the two Man City scorers because that would kind of give it away. Um, Interestingly enough, actually, Man City were leading on the 85th minute, and then Real Madrid went on to win it. So
I think was it Man City conceded like a free kick in like the third goal, was it?
I could not tell you, mate.
Oh
But
no, no. Oh my God, I've just realised that one of the players.
oh, Charlie's brain is ticking here. We've
Wait,
Did you
probably got
say?
about
I
20
Did you
think
seconds.
say it was? Did you say it was one up front?
It's a 4 3
Is it
3.
like the formation?
4-3-3.
Oh, but there's so many good strikers.
yeah, there is. But I'm struggling for wingers.
Well, you've got about 20 seconds here, lads. So
God's sake.
I've got everyone. Have I got enough numbers? One, two, three, four, five.
I do like
I've got
this City team.
10.
I'm not going to lie to you. There's some names in this City team.
Oh, who would have played at wing? It's City that era, and why can't I think? Oh.
I'm going to take a tactical decision late on here and move someone that I had in midfield out to the right mid.
Oh,
There
okay.
we go.
It's a big tactical decision from Lewis here. Have you done your team now, Lewis?
Yeah, I've just done it. Yeah.
Charlie?
Yeah, I've just done it, but it's yeah.
Okay. Charlie, you can go first, mate.
Okay. So in goal, I've got Joe Hart.
Okay.
At left back, I have got Kolarov.
Okay.
At centre half, I have got Vincent Company,
Okay.
and I was kind of struggling for the other centre half because I couldn't really think, so I just put Colo Torre.
Okay.
And then at right back, I've got Zabaleta.
Okay.
The midfield three, I'm confident Yaya Toure was playing in that game. And then I've got David Silva and James Milner as well.
Okay.
And then couldn't think of a right winger. For some reason, left wing. I know he's more. I think he's more of a central midfield. I think, but I just put Sammy and Nasri. And then up front, I've put Aguero.
Okay. Let me write your score down, Charlie. Lewis, let's hear yours, mate.
Right. So I want to say, Charlie, did you play football this morning? By the way, the quiz,
No, not no.
because there was one that was the Mancini kind of signings, which is this kind of era. I'm thinking, so it helped me a little bit. But I've gone for Joe Hart,
Mhm.
um, Again, Zabaleta or Richards. I went for Michael Richards. It might be completely wrong. I've gone Company and Lescott. Gale Clichy at left back. Now, the one that I think helped me was Xavi Garcia. I've chucked him in there because he was one of the signings that Mancini made. Yaya Toure. What I did was I put David Silva out on the right because I was struggling for the right, and then I've got Nasri on the left. My other midfielder is I went for Gareth Barry, and then up front I had Aguero, Dzeko, and Tevez. I went for Tevez.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a couple of things here for the both of you that are going to make you happy. The goal scorers were Alexander Kolarov
Yes.
um, and Edin Dzeko, actually, were the two goal scorers.
Oh, Dzeko scored.
I will tell you though, Charlie, Kolarov was on the bench.
Oh, for God's sake, it's going to be cliche, innit? I put him down first and I thought, well, Kolarov scored, so surely he
Edin
started.
Dzeko was also on the bench. And so was Pablo Zabaleta.
Oh my God.
Other
So
players
Michael
on the bench
Richards.
include Costel Pantilimon, Jack Rodwell, and Jolyon Lescott. So the
Oh
team is Joe Hart in goal, left back Dale Clichy, centre backs were Vincent Company and Mattia Nastasic. You both forgot he existed.
Oh,
no!
Nastasi.
The right back is Maicon.
Oh my
Oh,
days, love that.
The right back
That's
is
heresy.
Maicon. The
That's heresy.
midfield, Lewis, you've got all three. It's Garcia, Torre, Barry, because David
Come
Silva
on.
was on the right hand side. Sammy Nasri was on the left, and up front, is it Tevez? Is it Aguero? It's Carlos Tevez. So the scores on the doors currently are Charlie on 5, Lewis on 9. We move on to question 2. Which of these historic European clubs are still unbeaten this season? Is it A, Porto, B, PSV, C, Galatasaray, or D, Olympiacos? Which of them are currently unbeaten in the league this season?
Got it.
yeah, I've got mine.
Go on, Lewis.
It's Francesco Farioli's Porto.
Charlie?
I went with Porto as well.
It is Porto. It is Porto. We move on. Question 3. Now, unless you've been living in the deep, fiery pits of hell, you'll know that the 2026 World Cup draw came out last week. Now, my favourite group is definitely Group I, which features dark horses Norway and Senegal, alongside possible favourites France, and then one of kind of Bolivia, Suriname, and Iraq, whoever wins that playoff. Um, France and Senegal have some World Cup history though, with Senegal beating Le Bleu on their World Cup debut. But what year was that? Senegal won it on their World Cup debut. But which year was that? Which World Cup?
Hmm.
Okay, I've got an answer.
Yeah, I've got my answer.
You can go first, Charlie.
I've gone with 2002.
Lewis?
2002.
It's 2002. Can we? Charlie's not making up any ground here. He's got them both right, and he's making up no ground. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, Charlie. You might be needing the 5 points from the closest.
Yeah, I might. I think I'm gonna have to get it spot on.
You might be needing that. Question 4. Leandro Trossard scored his 50th Premier League goal against Aston Villa on Saturday. Well done, Leandro. We're all very proud over here at Hoof Productions.
I'm not.
All right. No one asked
He's
me.
rubbish in my FPL.
Yeah, I was going to say that 'cause she took him out in it. This makes him the 5th highest scoring Belgian in Premier League history. I'm not asking you who are above him because they're quite easy. It's Kevin De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, Christian Benteke, and Romelu Lukaku. So the 4 above him are quite easy. Who's in 6th? Who is the 6th highest scoring Belgian in Premier League history?
Got my answer.
Okay.
Who are the 4 above? De
Uh,
Bruyne, Benteke, Lukaku, and
Hazard. Who's in
Oh,
6th?
actually, wait. Would no, he couldn't score more
They've
goals.
got less than 50 because Trossard's on 50. That's a hint for you.
got 2 here. And one is a centre back and one's a midfielder. Go with the midfielder, Lewis, obviously, surely.
Wait.
Okay.
What was that? Sorry, that detail.
So Trossard's on 50.
Oh, right.
So this person's got less than 50. Can't tell you how many less than 50, but I can tell you this goal didn't take him to 5th. He was already 5th.
Yeah,
I've got so many names.
I'm pretty confident with my answer, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone else I'm thinking.
Lewis, are you
Yeah, I've got my
settled?
answer. Sorry, yeah, I've got the one that I'm going to go for.
Okay, you go first, mate.
So I was thinking Jan Vertonghen, but my final answer is Marouane Fellaini.
Charlie?
Oh God, I didn't think about that. I went with Divock Origi.
It's Marouane. It's Marouane.
Yes.
It's Marouane Fellaini. Not
Taking
Divock,
Nasser
Charlie.
Chadley as well.
Not going to be Divock, mate. Come on. He only scores in the Champions League. Right. Question five. And Charlie, you now need all 5 points to take it to a
I
tie
really need this.
because it's currently Lewis 12, Charlie 7. So, question five. And I said we'd touch on Man United Wolves again. Here it is. Man United beat Wolves last night in convincing fashion. I mean, who doesn't? They're shit. And they're looking to kickstart a run of wins and end, the United Strand's misery. Everyone knows about all that. We're not going to go into detail. How many days has it been since they last won 5 games in a row?
How many days?
How many days since they last won 5 games in a row? Obviously, closest to and 5 points for dead on.
5 in a row.
And you really need it, Charlie. You really need to get this dead
Yeah,
on.
well, I really need to get this number spot on out of
Yeah.
thousands of days it could be. Oh God. Um,
You have to really pull something out here.
I've got a random number. I can't really.
I'm. I've got mine.
Cool. You can go first, Charlie.
I've gone with 1,255.
Okay. Lewis,
Over 810.
that's not gone well for you, Charlie.
Lewis must be closer.
Yes, he is. The correct answer. It's going back to February 2024. 660 days, apparently.
Really? I thought it'd been way longer than that.
Nope. Nope. Nope, not been that long. Just as a
Oh,
little
great one,
aside,
Charlie.
doesn't
Real.
matter. As a little aside, can you remember who the last win was against? It was against one of that season's promoted clubs. It's not for any points. It's just for fun.
What was it, 24, 25?
It was February 24. So it
Oh,
was
sorry. So
23-24 season.
Um,
who came up? Oh, Sheffield United.
Charlie, you go on.
uh, I would have gone with no, Sheffield United. I would have thought.
No, it's Luton. Um, it's
That's
Rob
Luton.
Edwards Luton. Lovely bit of kind of synergy there because they just beat Rob Edwards Wolves. Fuck you, Rob. Charlie, let's have your trivia.
All right, we are talking about the FA Cup since the draw was made very recently, and we're going to take you back 28 years ago in the 1997 FA Cup final,
That's when Lewis was
Okay.
born.
where Chelsea played Middlesbrough.
Yes, it is.
Do you lot remember what
I
the score was?
no, I don't. You know what? I'm gonna go with a rogue 5-2 to Middlesbrough. There you go.
No, we lost. Um, we lost that game. I think that was actually the year we got. Was it the year we got relegated? Maybe it wasn't because we made it to 2 cup finals in. I think we were close to 2 cup finals at least. It's before I was born.
Oh,
So,
2 cup finals.
oh, fuck off, fuck off. Have you won the Carling Cup, mate? Probably have actually. I think we lost. I think it was like 3-1 to Chelsea.
3-1. Lewis, what are you thinking?
Oh, I already said 5-2 as a joke. That was
But,
actually
well,
I'm gonna go with it. Middlesbrough.
2-0 Chelsea.
It was 2-0 Chelsea. I knew it was a 2 goal margin.
And
I got two for Chelsea.
Yeah, I'll tell you who scored. So it was Roberto Di Matteo, what a guy, and then Eddie Newton as well. And another thing I'll ask you as well is, I'll give you like the nearest 1,000. What was the attendance for that game?
Okay. Talking Wembley. Um, so no.
Oh god.
75,000.
75,000. Lewis, what are you going
I'm gonna
with?
say 68,000.
Attendance was 79,160
Get
Oh,
in. Get in.
in the original Wembley Stadium.
Wow. Well, thanks for making me remember one of our club's darkest days, Charlie. Not that I was
No
alive.
worries.
But-
Thought I'd do it just for the sake that Middlesbrough, destroyed us on Friday night.
No, that's fair. That's fair. To be fair, I don't mind us losing Rob Edwards because Kim Hellberg might be the second coming of Jesus.
He actually might
You play
be.
Alex Gilbert as a holding midfielder. What am I watching? What am I watching? What's happening? What a man. What a man. We've got Charlton tonight. I cannot wait. We're gonna lose now probably. But that's how football is. That's how football is. It's been a pleasure anyway doing this podcast with you lads. It's been a pleasure kind of presenting to the audience at home. So thank you very much for joining with us. Please do make sure to follow us on all kind of social medias on TikTok. I know Charlie's been putting out some FA Cup stuff. Conveniently forgot the Rodrigo Muniz derby
Yeah.
against Fulham, but that's fine. We'll allow it. But yeah, thank you very much for listening and for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. All the best.